Hello everyone. Today we will be doing the topic on protective tissue. To understand protective tissue, first we have to see the characteristics of protective tissue. This protective tissue is always seen to be present as outer coating, which act as covering regions of the plant body. It helps in protecting against adverse conditions and also from pathogens. Next, it performs specialized function. Specialized functions in the sense that these tissues help in exchange of gases. It can also help in absorption process as well. Protective tissues can be classified under two categories. Number 1, epidermis. Number 2, cork. In the next slide, we will be first talking about epidermis. Epidermis is the outermost protective covering, and it is the covering of the outer layer of plant organs. These type of tissues have cells which are elongated, flat and closely packed. As you can see, the picture given above clearly explains the position of the upper epidermis. As you can see, the cells are flat and they have no intercellular space. So, in between the cells, there is no gap at all. The outer thick walls contains cutin. It is actually impermeable, water impermeable fatty substance. Next, epidermis secretes a waxy water resistant layer called as the cuticle. If you check the above figure, the topmost labeling is of that of cuticle. Here, with this picture, we can also understand the layer of epidermis and the layer of cuticle. It is a waxy, water resistant layer. Now, the aerial parts of the plant also bears minute pore-like structures which are called as stomata. In the figure which is given beside this figure, we can easily understand the position of the stomata. It is the minute pore in between guard cells. Now, what are guard cells? Stomata, the opening, the pore, that region, they are enclosed by two kidney-shaped specialized cells. They are known as guard cells. In this figure, we can clearly understand the kidney-shaped cells are called as guard cell, and the pore in between these two cells, that pore is known as stomata. When these guard cells, when water move in through osmosis, they become turgid and they help to create that pore. That pore is the one which we know as stomata. The pore helps in various processes like exchange of gases, respiratory gases, as well as transpiration. Transpiration is that process of loss of water in the form of vapor from the aerial parts of the plant. So that is transpiration. So these pores, these stomata, these openings, they help in exchange of gases, in respiration, as well as in transpiration. In case of xerophytic plants like cactus and all, there is sunken stomata which is present, and that helps to reduce the rate of transpiration. Xerophytic plants are specially present in desert region where there is very limited amount of water that is present, and due to that high temperature, if the water is lost, then that will be very difficult for the plant to perform all the other biochemical processes. So, to retain the water, there are so many modifications, right? So, here it is seen that sunken stomata reduces the rate of transpiration. Let us see a diagram of a cross section of a leaf where we can see the stomata which is present at some inner portion, inner region. So, this position of the stomata helps to reduce the rate of transpiration, and such type of stomatas are known as sunken stomata. Next, roots are covered by a layer called epiblemma. This layer of cells outgrows to form root hairs. Next, we will discuss about functions of epidermis. First, as it is outermost, it helps or it protects against mechanical injury from pathogens as well as from pests. We also saw that the layer cuticle which is present outside the epidermis, that helps to prevent loss of water. Stomata, the pore, helps or it regulates the gaseous exchange, and epiblemma and root hairs takes part in water and mineral absorption. Now, with this figure, we can clearly understand the cross section of a root. As you can see, the root hair structure which is labeled right at the top. Below that is the layer of the epiblemma. So, in the previous slide, we have discussed that epiblemma cells outgrows from root hairs, right? So, we can clearly understand this point now. Next, we will move to the discussion on cork. Now, this cells, this tissue, this protective tissue that is also present in the outer layer of older stems and roots, these are also formed from lateral meristem, secondary lateral meristem, and that type of meristem is called as cork cambium, and they are seen to have no intercellular space. Now, a very known place where we come across cork is the stopper of the homeopathic bottles. This diagram on top makes us clearly understand the application of corks, right? So cork cells are rectangular and they are arranged in layers. As you can see this figure, it helps us to understand this particular point clearly. Older cells become gradually dead and gets filled with various substances. It can be like resins also. In here, the cell wall gets deposited with a substance called suberin. Sometimes the cork seen to possess small pore-like structures which are called as lenticels. Now we will discuss the functions of cork. First role of cork is to prevent loss of water which occurs by transpiration. It also protects from entry of pathogens. Pathogens are those microorganisms which can cause disease in plants. Now, the pore, as in the previous discussion we said that cork possesses small pores. Those pores are called as lenticels, and these lenticels help in exchange of gases. This is the stem region where we can see the dotted like structures throughout the portion of the figure. These dotted structures are nothing but those pores which are known as lenticels, and they help in exchange of gases. These type of tissues, they are light weighted, non-reactive and insulating, and that's the reason they are used in commercial purposes. It also helps to protect against mechanical injury. So with this, we come to the end of protective tissue. Thank you.